Hi, I'm Emily Wineland, co-founder of Level Lens, and I am the lesser half. This is the better half, Becky Pittman. Everybody loves a good origin story. And personally, I'm biased, but I think we have the best. It started a long time ago, in 2018, in a restaurant down the street. Becky and I were the only two progressive political fundraisers in the state of Arkansas. We were on a lonely island, and we had misery lunches once a month to commiserate our loneliness and our total misery and what we were going through. But it was the perfect place to talk about the problems and the journeys and the real life situations that we had as political fundraisers here on the ground, working in a very red state, trying to push blue candidates out, what we faced, what was happening, how our donors were feeling. So Becky came to her senses. She went to work for the Venture Center here, was their marvelous comms director. Someday maybe you'll forgive me for stealing her. But we had a lunch in 2020 because the misery lunches continued because she was a great therapist and support human. And I come to Becky and I say, Becky, I have solved it. I am a genius. I fixed it. I know how we're going to raise all Democratic money in all the red areas all across the state. We're going to take mason jars, and we're going to put campaign stickers on them, and we're going to call them angry jars. And they go out in the community, and every time a person hears, reads, or sees something that makes them frustrated with their state, they put everything less than $5 in this jar that's in their wallet, purse, or billfold, and they give us the money. And at the end of the month, they come and we have like a potluck. This was happening in a county I won't name. And they come and they have a potluck with us, and they count up all the cash, and they write a check. And we funded 85% of the campaign in 2 months. When call time wasn't working, they couldn't afford emails, they couldn't afford text messages. Nobody wanted to be outed as a Democrat in this red community. I'm a genius, I'm God. And Becky looks at me and goes, you're a dinosaur. It's called the Spirit Change Roundup, and we should totally try to build it. And so we did. Good change. It was the problem. Donors are not just tired of being solicited, whether you're in politics, education, religious places. They're not just tired, they're exhausted. They're tired of being begged. They're tired of being lied to. There's no such thing as a 600% match. And if a Democrat doesn't give $5 by midnight, Donald Trump is not going to emerge from the crack in their sidewalk and be their rescue dog. These are not real fundraising tactics, but it's what's happening out in the world right now. And what people need, what we heard from our donors that we see and talk to every day, is they want to be engaged. They want to be part of it. They want to belong to it. They want to be with you on your journey. So how do you get donor engagement up? How do you get relational fundraising up? Why in the world do we continue to just beg people and solicit them to death? The solution, Level Lens. Again, it's my moment, right? So we identified 3 collective groups. 3 different groups where people belong, right? You belong to a political organization. You belong to a campaign. You belong for smart change in the education space. You belong to a college or university. You're an alumni. Or you're a parent who's being drugged to those stupid PTA meetings. Or you care about a literacy nonprofit, right? You belong to these spaces. We're our change for nonprofit and religious organizations. And we're thinking not your typical mainline Protestant, but we started with our first product, GoodChange. So what is GoodChange? GoodChange is an all-in-one fundraising and finance solution for fundraisers built by fundraisers. So you can raise, hold, and spend your funds all in one place. So what does that mean? It means we offer 3 new revenue streams. So yes, we do one-time and monthly donations. That is 2004 technology. It is old and tired and got us to the donor exhaustion we have today. But we also offer a spare change roundup, angry jar, remember the origin story, and we lean in heavy on relational fundraising. So we're able to offer real affiliate and influencer fundraising where people can go and make a commission cut for the groups by advocating for the groups they care about. And we also offer, we offer affiliate and relational fundraising, and we also offer leaderboards, the super bundler tool that allows volunteers to go out and compete with other volunteers to see who can bring in the most donations. Not the most dollars, the most donations. That way everybody's on equal playing field. So a young Democrat who's inspired to go out and lead and bring in $5 at a time can compete with maybe the rich old sassy lady at the country club. They are all on an equal playing field because donors are more than their donations. They belong to the groups that they support, and they are real, and they deserve to be empowered and included. So we hold your funds. This is what really gets people excited. Instead of when you raise money, all that money go away to some big commingled, possibly illegal bank account. Instead, it comes to a digital wallet. You own that digital wallet, it is connected to your bank account. You can move money up and down from that digital wallet to your bank account, same day ACH, for free. Even better, every vendor, everybody who you work with, every consultant, every employee can have a free digital wallet. We can move $1 million wallet to wallet in real time at no cost. I was waiting for like a gasp. Whoa. So you can spend your funds all in one place. Products that had never been offered before. The competition, like I said, the digital market for online platforms began in 2004-ish. There's been no revolution since then. There have been no new features in the past 3 cycles. I know this because I did this for 19 years. It's why I look so old and tired and haggard. I lived this journey. And so we recognized that we need to not just match everything else going on in the local platforms, but we needed to exceed it. The results, 230% increase. If you think about recurring donations and getting 1 ask instead of 20 asks, the normal donor, when you ask them for a monthly contribution, you were asking them at a stoplight to make a budget decision. So the average monthly contribution is between $10 and $15 a month. Because that's a bad marketing plan. No salesperson would be like, at a stop sign, make a decision. What can you afford every month, right? Instead, what we say, donate your spare change. Give us your pennies for progress. Give your pennies to the party. Give us what you throw in your cup holder. That averages out to $8 a week. That $8 a week is $32 a month, $340 a year, 230% increase. And what's lovely about it is it's naturally tailored to their budget. The more you spend, the more you give. The less you spend, the less you give. It flows with you. So if it's payday or you win the lottery and you're spending large, you're giving large. If it's end of the month and you're saving your pennies, you're not giving your pennies. Same day launch. You have to set up merchant accounts in order to do political online fundraising. We're able to do this in the same day. The average political platform, it takes 2 weeks. Payments in seconds, not days. Again, that was the gasp we were missing, but I'm gonna forgive y'all for it. So how did we start? We had so many mentors. So many people. We walked around with our crazy ideas and our big dreams, and we had so many people who were willing to guide us, bring us down to earth, help us take like wireframes from colored pencils into real life like screens, help us put together executive summaries, real business plans, and to really think through all the cost, not just material but immaterial, of what was going on behind the scenes. Development, Becky. This is why she's the better half of GoodChange and Level Wins. So much research, so much marketing research. We knew everything, everywhere, all the time. Amazing, and she's gonna blush and make a weird face. There you go. Development, budget, and fundraising. So for fundraising, I mean, we put our plan together and we started thinking about our pre-seed round. For the advice I have for pre-seed round, when you go to, my family used to say for a living, I shoveled smoke. I always took it as a badge of pride. But if you're shoveling smoke, you gotta make sure there's fire there. So we knew we had some fire, we had our plans in place, but when you wake up every day, when you're starting a tech company, you don't eat Wheaties, you eat your bowl of nails. Because you just get ready for it. Because when you're out peddling your dreams, you're gonna come across some doubters. And we heard everything in the world. We heard 2 women in their 40s from Arkansas with teenage kids, you'll be too distracted. You can't possibly make anything work. And so we just took it all and just internalized it. That nail became fire, and that fire became growth. And every time somebody underestimates me, I just love it. Ah, please underestimate me again today. I'll show you tomorrow. So what we did, we built our pre-seed round, we were fully funded, yay, it only took
a hot
minute. And we built, and we tested, and we sold, and we built, and we tested, and we sold, and watch cycle repeat. I mean, We do a new launch every 2 weeks, a new tweak, a new feature every 2
A
weeks.
lot of pushes.
So it's constant pushing, constant building. And sales, we started small. Definitely we started with local places where it was okay to mess up and moving forward from there. But what we found very quickly, is even though we thought we were in a lonely island, you get big attention real fast, and we did. And so we'd always heard David and Goliath stories of like, oh my goodness, you have to watch out because you have to be more nimble and more smart. Completely true. From day one, first day we were out, first day we were collecting money for candidates, we instantly became a threat. And there were big Goliaths always looking to step and squash and act like the big monopolies they were. And we just had to be smarter, faster, more nimble. And that's what we do every day. We just remember our position. We remember we're always able to run circles around everybody because we're faster, smaller, more creative, and we're not scared. So what we did, started local. It was great. We are forever thankful for those who were with us in the very beginning. There were so many groups here locally in Arkansas that were just huge supporters, huge fans, willing to let us get in there, mess up, be dirty, do all the things. But very quickly, we discovered we needed some national validation, and we were accepted to the Higher Grounds Lab Accelerator. We were one of 7 in the 6th cohort, and we were very quickly put on a national stage. And I did a pitch just like this, and only had 4 minutes and 200 people in the room, and did even more hand movements than I'm doing now. We had the national recognition and validation. We were members of the Association of State Democratic Committees. We're part of their leadership circle. So we are constantly on the road, constantly working state by state. We now have 162 clients in 18 states. And we have been asked to travel to 9 states this summer. So we're very excited about all the opportunities ahead. Just in March, we won the Reed Award for Most Innovative Political Tech. And that is all political tech, Democrats and Republicans. So that was exciting.
And Altech, AI, and everything.
And AI and everything.
No offense, AI.
But we're continuing our state-by-state mantra. We want to be 9 people's favorite thing, not 100 people's 9 favorite thing. So we're continuing to focus in on customer success and customer service. Staying relevant. It's really easy to get caught up in DC and big politics and big movements and big fundraisers and who's doing what where. We refuse. We know where we came from, we love where we came from, we love our humans. So when we closed down our consulting firms, we didn't really close down our consulting firms. Instead, what we did was we hired new humans who were interested in being in the space, and we continued to use them. And we let them run through GoodChange. We mentored people. We kept the consulting firms going with new humans working on it. And we were able to, that way, have real customer service, real customer feedback on all of the real ways that GoodChange was being active in the real world. Like, how was it really applying? If you have a QR code at a fundraiser, how does it really work? We had eyes on the ground, people watching it, people seeing it. We were also expanding the talent pool, which is one of our main priorities as women-owned Arkansas business. We want to hire as many Arkansans as we can and give them all great jobs and new opportunities here. So people talk a lot about values and growth. Our main thing is the journey as part of the goal. These two things are completely equal. You hear all those cheesy Hallmark cards about life is the journey, it's not the destination. Completely true. I now believe it. I don't know, maybe I'm becoming soft in my old age. But our main priority is our employees and our operations. Those are our PR. That's the best PR we can have, is staying focused on treating our employees right, making sure our operations are sound, making sure we're operating ethically, above board, being completely transparent every day. And expansion and innovation will come because these two things happen. So what's next? We are going to continue to do GoodChange, compete in the political organization space for nonpartisan and progressive races and causes and organizations. Next up, Smart Change. Smart Change will launch in June, and it'll be education focused. So colleges, universities, name, image, likeness collectives, any kind of PTA, In education, nonprofits, we're really excited to have this space. We have a wait list of 7 organizations, and we have commitments for our next round to build it. So we are very excited and getting ready to do something wonderful. Yes, sir?
Question on that education, that NIL application, is that going to be like crowdfunding for NIL instead of taking it out of the big foundations? Or
That's
is that
right.
in conjunction with them? Or?
That's right. So every fan should be able, it will be able to participate in the nonprofit collective to support the teams and the players they want to support.
So it can be a platform that can be licensed by an NIL group.
That's right.
Since those NIL groups can't actually officially be part of the university.
That's right. And we can belong to both because everybody will have their own space and place. And then lastly, as I said, in 2025, 2026, we'll launch into religious and nonprofit spaces. So Smart Change is what's next. We're really excited about getting in there, helping everything from your local elementary school PTA to literacy nonprofits, name, image, likeness collectives. So many of those college athletes, this is their only opportunity to earn money as a player. And so we're really excited to support them in those ventures, but also your traditional college and universities, foundations, and endowments. So I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you. I see several faces in here, and I won't call them out, who have been wonderful mentors and supports, so thank you, of course. Thank you to all of our initial investors and mentors, to Becky, and of course, since this is live, and I'm sure my kids will watch it at some point, maybe if I bribe them, to all of our families. The 2 of us came with 2 husbands, 5 kids from 16 to 10, 3 dogs, 2 cats, and a partridge in a pear tree. And so, thanks to all of our support groups. It really cannot happen in a vacuum. You have to have the full support, and it's not just us being founders, it's the whole family being founders. So we're forever grateful to our support systems.
And our poor friends who have to listen to us.
But any questions? I flew through that because I was once told brevity is confused with brilliance, so I try to be as quick as possible.
What are the differences on the technical level, if there are any, between the platforms for all 3? Is it basically the same underlying foundation, but with sort of different front ends?
Same back end, different storefront front ends.
So it's kind of white labeling?
It's white labeling.
But there'll be user experience tweaks, of course. It'll be completely customized for the different groups.
Yeah.
So what's the sales cycle like? First on political and then in the Smart Change?
So the political sales cycle is from fall of an odd year to Q2 of an odd year. We focus on campaigns and candidates as they're gearing up and amping up. From Q2 of an even year through the rest of it, we focus on what they call soft side. So PACs, organizations, those that raise year-round all the time. So think about any kind of party, any kind of big national organization PAC. There's plenty of them, thousands of them.
So from the first time you talk to one of them till you get them closed, that brings that.
Oh, I can do it 12 hours. I can do it over lunch. I can get them set up the next day.
It depends on the size of it. And I suspect it'll be like this when we get out to the nonprofits and stuff too. It's like, depending on the size. If it's a brand new campaign, a lot easier to get a brand new campaign to just do the whole thing, right? Somebody who's been with an incumbent for a long time, we get them to try pieces of, X, Y, and Z. The bigger it is, the longer, more tracks you have to run, right?
Yeah,
But
I'm assuming your next 2 will take considerably longer than that to close.
it's a lot faster. It's a lot faster than banks. It's a hell of a lot faster than banks. I mean, some of them. It just depends on. It depends on who it is. And if it's if it's new, it's generally pretty quick. If it's somebody bigger, we kind of work to get embedded in there and just stake out our place, and that's pretty good. So. We do a lot of de-risking because we're hand-holding a whole lot still right now. You know what I mean? And that's something that makes it easier for people to
But as we have people who are coming to us now that we don't know, we have a 24-hour hold period, and we make sure that we do our due diligence to make sure they are actors in good faith and that they meet our company values. We don't want to accidentally fundraise for a hate group.
Is there a difference in the business models that you anticipate from between the educational and the not-for-profit at this point?
Yes, there'll be, I mean, we have kind of, the nonprofit religious one is still kind of like sketching still on the like colored pencil paper, whereas the Smart Change is really formal and official. But yes, and there's even differences in like the level, because when you talk about like a major university endowment, you're talking about a very different pitch and a very different sales timeline than you are like a local elementary school PTA. And a lot of people really, we were surprised, I mean, I guess it's maybe because we're in this space and place, we were surprised that so many people didn't realize the potential with like local elementary school PTAs. When I lived in Cincinnati, our elementary school raised $500,000 a year for their PTA. And so when you start thinking about those, and I got looped into fundraising twice for the Fort Park Elementary School here in town, and we raised $150,000 a year both times. And so when you start thinking about all those little bitty spaces where people really put their heart and soul, giving them new tools to really engage and be part of a community collective and give easily,
and the fundraising is continuous.
It's continuous.
So, I mean, that's part of it.
It goes year round.
I would do anything not to have my kids sell butter bites. And not to deliver it. I mean, it's delicious, but it's like, ooh, it's a job.
Yeah.
So from where y'all came from, consulting, tell us a little bit about the marketing phase to get the customer to start, the end customer to start participating. Do y'all help with that?
Yes, we help with the B2C part. I mean, we are B2B in our sales. So, I mean, our number one secret weapon is we can sit down with any fundraiser and be like, I see your pain. We were on that lonely island. You know, we can bond very quickly. But at the same time, because we did come from Little Rock, Arkansas, and we both fundraised here most recently, we also know the pain of running into your donor at the grocery store and for them to say, I have a monthly contribution going to so-and-so. Their campaign closed down 6 months ago, and my money's still going out. Where is it going? Or even worse, the ones that would say, I am giving a monthly contribution to this other group, and I don't have the ability to press stop. By the way, GoodChange, we give every donor their full dashboard where they can control all their donations, press stop, pause, go, increase, decrease at any time. And that's never been offered to them before. And so I hear these terrible stories about, oh, my partner has cancer, and I know $25 doesn't seem like a lot anymore, but right now our medical bills are so high, it's a real burden, and I can't do this. I mean, so we very much, because we leaned in so heavy on that customer experience and giving donors dignity and making sure that they're part of the collective group, we have a really easier sales time with that, because we can talk to them about those kind of experiences. And any fundraiser who's worth their salt has had those stories too. And so when you're able to connect with people like that and show that you genuinely care about their donors, you're always gonna come out okay. But to answer your question about marketing, it's a lot of hand-to-hand combat still. So it's a lot of just us sitting down with the B2B, helping them explain how we can reach out and enable their donors to feel like they're part of the group.
Yeah, and it's primarily like treetops. You know, we're leadership circle. We're working talking to all the executive directors, all the chairs, all the affiliated kind of groups, and making a lot of connections with other businesses so that we can partner and that kind of thing. So we're not doing like digital, like any digital advertising or anything like that right now, because it's just there's no point yet.
Yeah, that's what
there's no point to that.
You know, you get a university, they've got marketing staff and everything.
Yeah.
You get a local, even a nonprofit with $1.35 million budget. They probably don't have marketing folks.
No, they don't. And so we typically just fold into what they already have existing for their fundraising and just amplify it.
But
like that's
a great. Sorry. There was a lag. No, it was just me interrupting. I'm being too sorry. But that's a huge reason why we made the leaderboards, because the leaderboards get everybody on, well, okay, there's a little tricky, a cool thing that we have built into all of this, which is some tracking and things like that. So whenever people use the leaderboards, whenever, like, if everybody in here was like, I'm gonna raise money for the Venture Center right now, and I'm gonna send out a link, and it would be attributed to, be under your account, it'd be under Ashley's account, and Ashley's gonna send it out from her place. Anybody who sees that Ashley sent a link, they'll click it because they're like, oh, this came from Ashley, I know it's safe to click. And then if they make the contribution, great. If they don't, then we can retarget them with marketing, with digital ads. We can retarget them with things that'll help ease them through the funnel.
What's the revenue model? So is the Venture Center pay you, or or me donating to the Venture Center? I mean,
This is the beautiful thing. Are you ready for this?
Yep, I'm ready.
The Venture Center is ready to use us because we are only transaction based.
Yep.
So I only make a dime after you've made $1.
Yeah.
And so I'm only gonna be successful if you're successful, and then everything you do with your money in the back end is completely up to you. And to Becky's point about data, since she said that I want to make one thing really clear. The other thing that makes us really different, one of the reasons why our clients love us, is we don't buy, sell, or trade anybody's data. The data belongs to the client. It is not a commodity for us to make money off of. It is a protected thing.
So in other words, you're not selling mailing lists?
No, we're not selling lists.
Because
we're not selling any lists.
Because your competitors do?
They do.
Oh, absolutely.
Some do. I won't name names.
I think the other part of your value add, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're talking about value add. Sorry, maybe the questions here about value add, please.
Another part of your value add, which your business model aids, is that you're not on an exclusive basis with GoodChange, Smart Change, or with, what are you calling the not-for-profit one?
It's been called Our Change, maybe.
Okay.
We're still working on that marketing and branding.
Good. I like it. That's cool. In other words, you're an add-on and your augmentation. So campaign or university or not-for-profit doesn't have to choose only you.
That's right.
Doesn't have to stop any of the existing channels and mechanisms that are using for fundraising. They add you.
Yes.
Is the issue.
That's right. So
and
we
then they
always
can choose to emphasize you if you're looking to be more effective as well.
Correct. Thank you. Yes. No. We always say we're one more tool in the toolbox, and we're not the jealous type. And I'm about to become your favorite thing. And I'm going to earn your business.
What's the
Yeah,
percentage?
It varies based on the size of the client. Right now, for one time a monthly, our standard price is 6.5%, and the spare change roundup is 10%. But that's a one-time upfront fee. So actually, when you compare us to our competitors who advertise at 3 or 4%, if they're advertising 3 or 4%, that's for the transactions. What most donors don't know about is then typically a platform fee that ranges from 2 to 5%, and then they charge you every time you make an ACH deposit or receive a check. So all of those varies based on whatever platform it is, but we're a one-time, all-inclusive upfront fee.
But it's just a piece of the transaction that y'all are getting credits.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that just comes in out of the top.
I assume
and
it's
the
like
rest-
Stripe and Plaid is underneath the
No,
API.
we do not use Stripe or Plaid.
No setup fees?
We do.
No setup fees, we're free to try, no risk. That's how good I am, Mimi, I'm just gonna earn your
But
business.
I'm gonna say this too, that, there are certain fundraising platforms, huge ones, that I'm sure everybody's given on, just for nonprofits, not political or anything like that. It takes up to 45 days to get the funds. And we're like, as soon as the funds clear, you can have your funds, and it's in your control. And so that's a big deal. Whenever, we were both affected by the tornado, and we were just not quite ready to do this, but I was like, I wish that everybody could just, all these people that are spinning up these fundraisers could just do this, because they'll have the money tomorrow if they need it, but we weren't at that place where we could do that, but it's terrible to have to wait 45 days if you need the money somewhere. Like when people are fundraising, they need the money when they need it, not 45 days later.
And no matter what political platform I used, and I literally used all of them, it drove me crazy compliance-wise, because I would receive the donation, and then the processing fee and the ACH fees would come out later, and when I had to do my ethics compliance, it never quite lined out because ethical rules change so often that like, so for example, I had a 2-week ethics rule where I had to file something every 24 hours within 2 weeks of the election. Those processing and deposit fees wouldn't always match up. And so it was a compliance nightmare. So since I'm not that smart, we decided to make it easy and just do a one-time transaction fee. Any other questions? I love it. I'm moving for a hard one.
So how much did you raise or contributed to raise last year?
We are at our current total as of this morning. We have transacted $855,762.12.
To come in, and it's gone out too, so.
Yeah, and then as far as like money movement and everything else, we're getting close to 3 million by the time it goes to a wallet and it goes to another wallet and it hits a bank. So we're pretty excited. There'll be a big media thing when we get $1 million. Promise.
And then another when we hit $1 billion.
It'll happen soon.
Billion is our theme this year.
Yes, today.
Yeah, I know.
You mentioned that you like de-risk and vet who you are affiliated with, but being a politically and like socially associated organization, have you faced backlash from the community? And if not, have you planned for what would happen if there was that?
So, yes, the only people who really pushed, so this is the way I explain it to investors, because the only real pushback we've had on being nonpartisan and progressive is from investors who always look at us and say, you left out half the market.
Mm-hmm.
And I always quote my brilliant grandmother who said, you can't ride 2 horses with 1 ass. So you have to pick a side. That's just how it is in politics. You just have to pick a side. And we picked our side, and that's just how it goes. And if you have any kind of back and forth, then neither side will trust you.
Yeah.
And so for GoodChange, that's what it is. For education and smart change, it'll be a whole new company. It'll be completely independent of any political associations. And unless it's, we'll never take a hate group. So we'll always do a quick due diligence to make sure we're never supporting a hate group, especially as they call themselves interesting things these days. And so we will make sure we always do that due diligence, but I'm really not worried about any backlash. I stand by my values and stand by my beliefs, and Becky's not scared either.
No, it's, yeah, and it's just a segmented, like, that market, it's a segmented market. You can't, it's travel, it's, it's just the way it is. And we know those donors, like that, those are the donors that we have kind of come up working with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's, like, we know those donors, we know how to help them. We have lots of family and friends, all political affiliations. We love them all, and they all understand. My family is like, and I'm like, this is just, that's probably the biggest backlash that I've run because they still wear our t-shirts. My sisters are like, what do you do? But yeah, it's just the nature of that business. And so we're really excited about expanding to the education nonprofit spaces too.
And how about the religious market? Do you see that as segmented or?
No, the religious market, our change when we get into nonprofits and religious groups, we're really excited about that. There's a lot of platforms that are really geared towards mainline Protestant religions. There are very few that are looking at Islamic communities or Jewish communities or any Buddhist, and so we are really excited about expanding that because faith collectives are faith collectives. It's still all the same thing. You're part of a group, you're part of an identity, and you belong. And so we're really excited about that and expanding that marketplace. And also I'm a Methodist preacher's kid, so I can also Bible thump and get down with that if we have to. I doubt we'll have to go there. Any other questions?
So 2 non-techie people started a business. Talk about that journey about how did you get to build this platform?
Okay, I'm gonna embarrass Becky. Because we are 2 non-techie people. I can still hardly function with Zoom. But Becky, we realized very quickly that we could not be completely blind going into this, and we had to create fill in some education gaps. So the first thing we did was, of course, we found all the mentors we could, surrounded ourselves with way smarter people than us, hired tutors, hired people to help. Becky rolled up her sleeves and learned to code. And she tells you she knows enough to be dangerous, and she does. And she can look at our site and debug and de-risk, and it's amazing. We still have a full development team. We're expanding that team right now. We're really excited about that. But we definitely have, one of the things we did was we created a list of all of our knowledge gaps. And we made sure that we found fillers in space and mentors to fill those gaps. I think being self-aware is probably the best thing a founder can do.
Yeah, and I also think for anybody who is a non-techie founder, and you want to do tech, I think the biggest thing that I would say is like the low-code, no-code platforms are so good for teaching people about architecture and engineering of all the data and all of that. Like, that is an invaluable information that I've learned. And without that, I don't know, like it would be it'd be very difficult. I wouldn't know which way was up. So because of that, that is a big, big help. And so I don't really, I don't need to be writing the code. Somebody else needs to write the code. I need to know what our customers need, and, to tell the person who's writing the code what they need, right? And to know that we can get this from over here, we can get this bit of data from over here, we can put it together and do this, But it's, that is a significant challenge, I think, for sure. But, somebody one time said, if Picasso can do it, so can I. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Bill Gates can do it, so can I. So anyway, for better or for worse, people can learn it, but you learn it, just learn at that high level and then go down, I think.
Yeah, but I think, you can always hire more, hire better, hire up, expand your team on tech, and there's some really brilliant creative humans out there that we'd be lost without. But I think for us, knowing the market and knowing how things would rise and fall over the past 18 months has been way more valuable than anything else. Just knowing the industry and being able to connect with people and really knowing that we were solving a real problem and we weren't just inventing a problem.
Is there an app coming?
No. We thought about it. We are actually .app, but asking someone to download an app is asking someone to do something.
There you go.
And so what we found from our customer feedback is no. If we do get into the space of donor wallets, where a donor uploads their budget for the year for nonprofit giving into a wallet and then disperse those funds at cheap rates to other wallets, then we may go to an app. But
your site is adaptive.
our site's adaptive.
Yeah.
Meaning that it looks as good on a mobile phone as
It's
it does.
designed to be mobile first.
Yeah, and it's built to be able to handle having an app, Android, Apple, whatever. Whenever we get to that point, because I do think there will be a use case for that in the future, because we've got a lot of more features coming that are significant that may demand that.
Is there any local competition in this space?
Local?
Nobody's doing a Spirit Change Roundup or relational fundraising. So are there people doing?
Like Republican, like Right Change or something?
No, there are groups that do one-time and monthly donations. And there is an Arkansas-based company that is one-time and monthly giving donations. But nobody leans in heavy on Spirit Change Roundups or relational fundraising, which is kind of our niche.
Or the digital wallets.
Or the digital wallets. But also to answer the app question, I really hope we're purchased before we switch to an app. Just putting that out into the universe. Yes.
Okay, and the app question. So as a user of GoodChange on both sides, what would be different in an app?
You would just be on your phone.
It'd be on your phone.
It's like you hit the link and you just press it and it just does all the things. So you're just saying that you go to the icon on my phone. You know I have 12 apps on my phone, so I'm not using that. But I was just like, what would be different? It would just be like just an icon on your phone.
That's right.
It'd be, and then it'd do the same things, but it would also if we get into that donor wallet world, and some of the outgoing payments and stuff like that, then it's a little bit more, people need to be able to get to it really quickly.
Was that like
If there's a back.
proactivity rather than
Yeah,
reactive?
yeah, I mean,
Think or reactive.
The giving is like the reactive,
Yeah,
right? And then the other stuff is like, I need this,
Yeah.
I need to get into my whatever app, my green light app. I do green light with the kids. So it's that kind of thing, yeah.
So your dashboard would be right at your fingertips. Every donor who registers a password on GoodChange, and same for SmartChange, has their own dashboard. So your dashboard would be at your fingertips, would be the advantage. But at this time, we have found that donors are already asked too much. So asking them to download an app also.
I just envision that, because I do a lot of fundraisers, right? I just envision them saying, hey, by the way, instead of going through a QR code, I could just envision them going, okay, everybody get your phones out, go ahead and donate to my candidate.
Yeah. No, it would be cool. It'd be really great.
Because we have to pass around, during my fundraiser, we have to pass around that little thing that has the QR code. You know what I mean? And it's like awkward.
Yeah.
Here, just go to this side.
Any metrics that matter that you're not tracking right now? Like, are you able to track it as like a acquisition cost per B&B, or like LC lifetime value per donor, or
We're still
any
slowly.
type of eccentrics around the data?
Well, the spare change donors have the highest lifetime value.
Yeah.
Right now. So, one-time donors, and they're all of the donors are equally valuable in our hearts. But as far as money coming in the door, the spare change donors, there's low churn on that. They're giving me and Emily at our, guilt drive-through swiping for the kids at Chick-fil-A, because we're working all the time, not cooking. Ours is higher. Ours is, mine might be $15 a week or something. Other people like $8 a week.
Mine was only $6.34 last week, just saying.
Yeah.
I was in control last week, yeah.
Good work.
I know.
But it's very that's just a higher. So it's not and that's the other thing too. I think to remember, there's a balance on the spare change marketing of it, where there is a certain segment that's going to pick it because it's the easiest thing to pick. They don't have to make a decision other than just picking that. And then there's another segment that it's a little, you have to do a couple extra steps to get to it, to wrap it up. So they need to be like your most dedicated folks. So you need to kind of have be ready to play around with different strategies and see how your audience is responding to it and that kind of thing.
But the spare change market is great, and it's really ideal for what we in the industry call the forgotten middle. People who give $100 to $2,000 one time and then never asked again. If you're thinking in the political space, if you're not a person who gives the max out, which is currently $3,300, then you're typically not a person who's called during call time, so by the candidate dialing for dollars. If you're a person who gives $100 or less, you're just on an email and a text message list, and they're looking for those responsive people. So if you give $100 one time to $2,000, there's a huge segment of regular human population that's then just left out of the fundraising journey. And so that's what the Spare Change Roundup is for. It's ideal to bring in that person at that time who's made that kind of a commitment to your campaign and take them from a $100 donor to a $340 donor. So by the end of the year, they've given $100 and $340, so then there are $440. So you call them in December and say, how about that extra $60? And you give them $500. It's a good upsell.
So to make sure that I understand that, right now you're finding people that they're not getting contributions from, and you're able to get that monthly, weekly spare change, and you have a frictionless system for it because they're kind of testing it. Even though it's small right now, those are the three kind of larger value adds from the customer. The business, whatever you want to call it, campaign.
Yeah, so from donor perspective, we're one ask, not 20. That's the draw. And then you're included and you're brought in. And you're either asked by the campaign themselves, or even better, it's Chad asking me to give, and how do I say no to Chad, right? That's the real value add. It's a different validation and a different market to expand their network. Because if you're talking in the political space, only the people who know the candidate give them money and vote for them, the candidate never wins. So it's all about expansion into their network and growing and bringing more people into the tent.
Are there certain groups that you need to get into in order to really kind of grassroots and expand faster, or are you still like, I need to taper this and like learn and make sure that our app's functioning correctly, our website,
I mean, it's always that, but also, yes, we are in those groups. The Association of State Democratic Committees, they have a leadership circle, we're members of it, so we're one of their preferred vendors, and we go to quarterly meetings and get in front of every state committee and work from those treetops down. But also, we are just word of mouth, campaign by campaign, through our own natural networks. We have been in politics 19 years, so through our own natural networks, reaching out. Yes?
You know I love to ask questions.
I love it.
So as a donor who gets in all the spaces that y'all are targeting, and I mean, I see a significant shift or difference, I guess, as you move through these platforms and talking about like a wallet where you can set up a budget and have an app and all this, from your I don't want to say your only clients, but your main focus on clientele as being the company, the business, the candidate, to also now turning that to the donor side, right? So as a donor, if you're gonna have 3 different businesses, you may not know this yet, you know I like the details. If I set one, because this is how I do it in my budget, I give one budget for donating, and that covers my political donations, which in Arkansas are basically not tax deductible, as well as all my tax deductible donations, right? Am I going to be able to switch between platforms? Because they're different businesses, right? And you don't want to muddy those waters, but from a donor standpoint, how do I, or again, put this bug in your ear, you probably haven't answered yet, but how do I manage all of that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that's something we've been talking a lot about lately. You are a beautiful, shiny unicorn.
I know.
You are so generous and give to so many groups. I mean,
We
and so
can give you
that's...
special permissions.
Becky just said she would be on. But no, for now, we are keeping on, for now, we're gonna keep them siloed.
Okay.
And it'll be separate, we have to.
Yeah.
There's different requirements. There's different, like the political reporting requirements are different.
Yes.
And people may not want to give all the same amount of information. So, everything else, the next thing we do will be more adaptable to more different markets and however it all shakes out. But,
Smart Change and Our Change are a little more fluid in between the two, and political needs to stay separate.
yeah.
We started with the most stringent requirement, and we started political. And it's
Unless we also have just a donor wallet standalone.
company, which could happen.
Yeah.
The standpoint of both the candidates, say, or COLAs, and the donor, how do you differentiate yourself or your group from, say, ActBlue?
How do we differentiate ourselves from ActBlue?
ActBlue.
So ActBlue, they are a great company. They do only one time a monthly payments. They don't do any spare change. They do not have competitive leaderboards or bundler tools. And they don't participate in any affiliate or influencer marketing where regular humans are able to go advocate for the groups and causes they support, and they give commission back to their own digital wallet.
And also, if you give there one time, you get 16 emails the next week. And I'm sick of it. Not gonna lie, like I'm over it.
Maybe they
I'm tired of it.
So,
Like, I don't know how much of their revenue model is based on selling their info, but dear God.
Our revenue model is based zero on that.
yeah, and so that's our differentiator is we're here to be part of your journey and to make donors part of the collective of belonging to your organization or your campaign. And so we really lean in heavily on relational fundraising. And so it's kind of like Arthur said, we never look at anybody who's using ActBlue and say, get off of it. Instead, what we say is, we're one more tool in your toolbox. We're here to make your life better. We're here to make your donors more valued and to create fewer asks on you as the fundraiser.
Are you actually presenting a brand on a campaign that uses you? Right? I can't remember this, sorry guys. Campaign that uses you, signs you up. Are they actually putting a GoodChange brand, say, on their own marketing? Because there's a link, as I recall, that so say Samantha X, senatorial candidate, signs up for you, and then someone goes to her website, sees ways to donate. One of them is GoodChange. Is GoodChange branded at that point?
It depends on the candidate. So
So they
they're,
can choose to white label it?
so
They can choose to...
the ones that are using multiple platforms,
Yes.
they'll say like, give traditionally or give at Blue and give on GoodChange.
Got it.
They'll like put those two options out there, or they'll say, donate your spare change. Because when you click
So
on
you're
donate,
giving them
that's
the
the first thing.
flexibility of doing that?
They can call us whatever they want.
Good, good, good. All right.
And they can label it however they want. And when they go to that donate button, what they see are the options of giving, and they see the candidate and the organization's branding.
Yeah.
And when you text us out, you don't see our branding, you see theirs.
Right.
And on the credit card receipt, you didn't always use the line item for the charge. You see the candidate or the organization's name / GoodChange, not GoodChange / the candidate. That was one of the complaints I got a lot, was why in the world did I give 20 times to this campaign? We're like, wait, look at the metadata. If you follow the trail down to the 49th character, you can see that it's not us. You gave to that other candidate too. So we really try to put other organizations first. Part of my deep political training is the best supporters for campaigns and organizations are felt and not seen. And we've kind of continued that path. Is we're here to support. We're not here to be the stars. The candidates and the organizations are the stars.
Yeah, because most donors don't really, most donors are not like, oh, this is the platform I love to give on, is XYZ. Donors usually give whenever somebody asks them to give. And so if I ask you to give, would you donate to me? You're not going to go, well, why don't you have PayPal or something? You're going to go, oh yeah, I'll max out to you, Becky, and then, whatever link I send.
At the same time, I think it's really important when you're going to your B2B, the person you're selling to,
Yeah.
they need to be able to easily find out who is processing that site.
Yes, yeah. And they do. I mean, you mean the candidate or the whoever?
Your actual customer.
Yeah. Oh,
I know
that's
you're branding to your
Yeah.
actual customer. You're not branding to their customer. It's
Right.
not a B2C play.
That's right.
Right.
Right. B2C.
So, but you are
Yeah.
marketing and branding and making brand recognition.
Yeah, but some of those donors
to
are the
B2B.
ones that are gonna wanna sign you up for something else, so.
Yeah, well, and they can see it. It's just not front and center. I mean, it's like, it's on the, like we've got branding. We've got the branding everywhere. But it's not center stage. Like, we're not center stage. The candidate, organization, whatever, center stage, powered by, essentially.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
Other questions? These have been great.
I will say, I don't recommend doing this without a partner. It has been a huge gift to have Emily as a partner. We've had a really good time, and and also we've not killed each other.
We still like each other.
We
still
really like each
genuinely
other.
like each other.
We really like each other. She bought me a birthday present the other day. It was very nice. It was lovely.
So yeah, no, partnerships make it easier, but thank you all so much for the time.